Mm. Good morning, business builders, and welcome to Business for Breakfast, where business is the most important meal of the day. I'm your host, Aaron Novinger, the Venti Business Guy, otherwise known as VBG. Our goal on this show is to make you 1% smarter today by unpacking business news over the last 24 hours, sprinkled with tips and tricks to help you mind your own business. That's right. Okay, peeps, I know why you're here, and it ain't for me. I know why you're here. You're here for the morning mark. That's right. You have no prompts required, no drinks, no gear, just you and a functioning brain. We'll work with what we've got. Wherever you are, desk, truck, kitchen, job site, standing or sitting, it doesn't matter. Pick one thing you will finish today. Not a list, not 10, not three, one. Now mark it mentally and write it down. That's the line in the sand. That's the thing the day doesn't get to erase. This is the pause that sharpens the edge, the moment that turns noise into signal, the tiny act that makes business owners dangerous in a good way. That, my friends, is your morning mark. Your day's officially started now. Why don't you drive while I dive? Let's jump into today's show. Oh, my word. Now, you guys know that one of my favorite segments of our show is our What's Happening in This Day in History, which, let's be honest, it's also your favorite thing too, right? Mm. Now, that was finishing it off my little cup of Java, and now it's time to switch to the tea. And I apologize for you guys that logged in yesterday. We were having some technical difficulty and had to basically kill the show after like 5 minutes because I had no audio. But luckily today we do, and I also want to give a huge shout out to Justin for being my lighthouse on with me every day. Thank you, sir. You are what gives me comfort knowing that my audio is good because when you do live, you just don't know. Now, are we ready to jump into this day in history? I know you are. I know you are. What is that? Let's go this way. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. The lamp, the picture. We got it all there. Okay, cool. All right. This day in history. Okay, you guys ready? Now, remember, this is February 12th. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. 1941. This is on February 12th, today, 1941, the first clinical use of penicillin. While Alexander Fleming discovered it in 1928, it was on this day that police officer Albert Alexander became the first person to be treated with purified penicillin. Though he tragically passed away because the supply ran out, it proved the miracle drug could successfully fight human infection. Yes, man, that was today. Okay, what else happened? On this day in history, 1909, the founding of the NAACP. On the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birthday, the National Association for the Advanced of Colored People was founded. It remains one of the oldest and most influential civil rights organizations in the U.S. Yes, let's give a huge shout out to the NAACP. And what else happened in this day in history? In this day in history, February 12th, 1999, the Clinton impeachment acquittal. The U.S. Senate acquitted President Bill Clinton on two articles of impeachment, perjury and obstruction of justice, ending a 5-week trial that captivated the global political stage. Boy, this dude is getting hammered the last month in the media, and it just don't stop, bro, because now we've got these anniversaries coming. At the exact moment, this dude is every day trying to avoid being in the news because of the files. What else? About some famous birthdays. Charles Darwin, February 12th, 1809, the English naturalist whose theory of evolution by natural selection revolutionized our understanding of biology and the history of life on Earth. I know, right? What is that? Survival of the fittest mindset, which, by the way, I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think it's been quite a few years. I think a lot of stuff that he taught, I think, has been debunked and that type of stuff. But survival of the fittest, I think you can see that pretty much anywhere. Abraham Lincoln today, born on the exact same day as Darwin, the 16th U.S. president, led the nation through the American Civil War, preserved the Union, and paved the way for the abolition of slavery. That's a word you see every day. Abolition of slavery. Judy Blume was born today, the author. Fun facts for you guys. Today is actually called Darwin Day, obviously in honor of Charles Darwin's birth. But today is intentionally recognized as Darwin Day, celebrating science, humanity, and the intellectual bravery required to question the status quo. But here's a fun fact. Because Abraham Lincoln and Charles Darwin were born on the same day in 1899, historians often call it one of the most consequential 24-hour periods for modern thought. One birthed a new era of political liberty, while the other birthed a new era of biological understanding. What? Is that not freaking crazy, man? Is that not crazy? I knew you guys would freaking love this, man. I knew that you would love this. All right, guys. Well, I knew that today, as a fun fact in history, would be one of your favorites because of Abe Lincoln. Come on now. But we need to jump into some juicy news. But before we do that, you guys know I have a tiny, tiny little disclaimer. All right. While we talk about business growth and economy here on Business for Breakfast, please remember that I don't hold any securities licenses. This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only and doesn't constitute financial recommendations. I'm here to help you run your business like a Fortune CEO, not manage your portfolio. Now it's time for some juicy news, juicy news, juicy news. Oh my God, dude. I don't know why, but that energy, that frequency just gets me ready for the day, man. I don't know. Hopefully it does the same thing for you guys. But you need to understand, man. Today, you're going to know purple is for royalty. And on Thursday, every Thursday is what we call Treat Yourself Thursday for our mom and pop venti shops. That's right. You're the hardest working people on planet Earth. And so today is all about you. You're allowed one day a week to actually focus on yourself. And that is going to be today. Treat yourself Thursday. Okay. So that's going to be the theme for today. Everything we're going to talk about is treating yourself. Okay. And I cannot wait for the little lesson a little later. And you guys know, if you guys ever saw Parks and Rec, you know the video clip I'm about to show you guys in a little bit. Okay. So if you're like, oh my God, I don't really need any news today, but I want some of that. And I want to see a little, what is his name? Aziz do a little treat yourself. Yes, yes, it's coming. It's coming. You're welcome. Just hold tight. Just hold tight. Okay. But let's kind of jump into some juicy news. Okay. 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 Here we go. Here is the title: Billions Frozen. SBA suspends 112,000 California borrowers. This is huge, man. Okay, so the story: the SBA administration, Kelly Loeffler, announced a massive freeze on federal funding for over 100,000 borrowers in California funding or following a $9 billion fraud investigation into pandemic era loans. Okay. Why is this important for us? Okay. Because the bottom line is legitimate, actual businesses like brick and mortar mom and pop venti shops, okay, in California are going to probably be facing like actually delays and um, uh, uh, delayed payments with auditing and much more scrutiny in those applications. Okay, because the agency now has to pause everything. Remember with the ERC loans and the IRS and the Treasury froze payments for like a year or two because they had to go back and start auditing because of the amount of fraud. It's happening right now. This is a perfect example of where a couple bad apples will ruin the entire barrel. Okay, because people think of themselves and they focus on themselves. They have no idea how they are screwing other people. And by the way, this is also like for you guys, if you know, are trying to make sure that you're making the right decisions, and you feel like you're just kind of on an island by yourself, you understand that we are here for you. We're like the only accounting firm on earth that actually is accounting plus accountability. And so we actually have peer advisory groups where they're open source. They're always free to you, and you don't have to be one of our clients. And the cool thing is that these are like your own personal board of directors. Sole purpose: you meet every week. You meet their 12-week sessions. They help you with clarity, giving you goals, ideas, suggestions. They also hold you accountable because we know as owners, right? The higher up we go in leadership, the less accountability we have. But we all know even Tiger Woods needs a swing coach. Are you tracking? Okay. Which means the other thing that the purpose of this group, and we're talking about the SBA, making sure we're doing it by the book, that we're not leaving any money on the table, and that we're kind of crossing over all of the red tape as we're kind of getting to the finish line here, especially now with SBA paperwork and everything. This is kind of a big deal, and it's a kind of a heavy process, which is why we help you guys with this. You can be part of one of our peer advisory groups, always open for you guys. Or if you have questions about stuff consulting about this, you can hit us up. And there's two ways to get to us: businessforbreakfastradio.com. It's our own personal scheduling, or you go there, submit questions. I'll read them on air or reply back to you directly. or go to speakwithaaron.com. That's speakwithaaron.com. That's aaron.com. And the purpose is we can talk about everything and anything: accounting, consulting, taxes, payroll, the new SBA changes, all that stuff. We're here for you. Okay, guys. So let's jump back into some juicy news. I knew that was going to be kind of something I wanted to kind of talk about, just because it's paperwork, and mom and pop venti shops. They don't have the time. That's why every Thursday we dedicate to you, and it's Royalty Day. It's Treat Yourself Thursday. That's right, Treat Yourself Thursday. Okay. Now, what else is happening in the news today? Hmm. What? 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 Here's the title: Restaurant Industry to hit 1.55 trillion. But it has a catch. The story is in 2026, State of the Restaurant Industry Report predicts record sales, but warns that 42% of operators are currently not profitable due to swipe fees and labor costs, which is a fact. Okay. We already know that the industry that's oftentimes the least profitable is restaurants. And we also know that restaurants also have the highest cost of everything on that P&L, right? Their COGS is the highest of everything: cost of goods sold, cost of the food. But then below that is all the line items on the P&L, okay? Merchant processing down to like pest control, okay? But because they literally have typically 1 to 3 locations, they have no economies of scale, which means they pay the highest cost um, of all of their goods and services that they offer. Okay. And merchant processing, I can't even tell you how many times some of our clients will do $2,000 or $3,000 a month, like a small little boutique or something, right? 200 or 300 a month will be merchant processing fees. Yeah, over 10% of their revenue. Freaking fees, bro. Yes, yes. The big boys, Big Co, the Goliaths, um, have a lot of them have T's and B's for valuations because they make their money off the backs of the little guy. Yep, it's true. And so you're seeing it right now, and you're also seeing the credit card, what they call it, Reconciliation Act, where they're trying to basically break this duopoly between Visa and Mastercard. You're seeing a lot more merchant processing. The fees are now being passed to the consumer, and they should be, especially for mom and pop. They literally do not have the discretionary income to be able to pass off to that. And unlike the big guys, the Goliath companies that have 10,000 more employees, no, those guys literally pay pennies for their fees. Pennies. Okay. If you go to like the Walmart, you still can't even pay tap to pay at Walmart. They control all of that stuff. Okay. So, oh, I guess the printer decided to just go off and do its thing, which is not a big deal. These things have a mind of their own. We already knew that. Oh my gosh. What else is going on in the news today? Okay, okay. Oh, I saw this. This was actually posted on X by Steve Stewart Williams. Great follow, by the way. And he was talking about sex differences that suggest that human males are adapted for combat. Okay, so I'll read you a few of these. Okay, here's what he said: Male humans have greater upper body strength, taller bodies, heavier bodies, higher basal metabolic rates, faster reaction times, thicker bones in the jaw, faster mental rotation, and spatial visualization, more accurate throwing, more accurate blocking of thrown objects, more intense in the practice of combat skills, stronger bones, greater bone density, specifically in the arms, easier heat dissipation, more hemoglobin in the blood, higher muscle to fat ratio, larger hearts, higher systolic blood pressure, broader shoulders, enabling efficient weapons, larger sweat capacity, larger circulating blood volume, greater resistance to dehydration, tolerance for risk and dangerous activities, faster sensory frame shifting, thicker skin, two more, larger lung capacity, and greater use of physical and homicidal aggression. The reason why I thought this was hysterical, and by the way, find me a dude. Most guys are wired like this. Like I was just telling Rebecca, we were just talking about this last night. We were hanging out in the back patio, and we were just talking about um like, you understand the way I'm bred is I will get violent for my family, like violent. Okay. And the weird thing is it's a big reason also why I take cold showers every day and have every day for over 10 years, and refuse to take a hot shower. is because the same reason the Spartans do cold, only bathed in the cold creeks rather than the hot baths, because they thought it made them weak. And the thing about men, it's weird. And I'm talking about the whole. There's always exceptions to the rule, but I'm talking about the rule. For most men, they kind of like the pain of a sport, like, getting hurt, like cutting themselves, getting dirty, muddy. Like, I know for me, I don't like getting wet or dirty unless I have to, but if I do, oh, I'm going all in. Like doing those, muddy buddies, those mud runs, right, where you have to go through mud. Bro, there's something primal about that stuff, man. It's primal. You know what I'm talking about, right? And so, I really thought that was a kind of a big deal when he put that. I was like, that makes total sense. And I was just talking to Rebecca about that just last night. That I was like, you understand, man? Like, guys kind of like to be violent. I know I still love watching My Housewives of Beverly Hills. Come on, me some Kyle and some Dorit and Sutton, my ladies. But I also like a little pain. I think, but all dudes do. I mean, not all dudes, obviously, but most. What else is going on in the news today? Oh, this was actually really, really great, because you guys know that if you've been paying attention to the international um, war that's happening between the gas stations. Okay, so obviously you've got China, Russia, the U.S., big producers of natural resources, duh. Okay, and mineral rights. This is such a big reason why the U.S. is like, and Greenland is ours. We're not even going to ask. We're going to pay for it. And it's the Pablo Escobar model: silver or silver, your choice. And Greenland's like, or Denmark's like, we'll take the first silver, like this big treasure chest of money. Yes, because if you don't, you're going to get the other silver, which is the bullet, right? The Full Metal Jacket. But this is actually really big. This was a couple days ago. CNBC put this on X. Trump says India won't buy Russian oil anymore. Moscow, on the other hand, insists India has not said that. Big surprise, okay? Because you understand, I actually researched this a while ago, but did you know? I know it's kind of like one, like, fun fact for you, but did you know that, like, quite literally, India buys like 25 to 30% of Russia's oil? Like, that's huge, man. Like, and I was doing some math. It was like, what is it? It generates like, it's billions and billions a year in revenue. Like, that what's happening right now is Cuba is literally shutting down because all their oil came from Venezuela, and we now basically, since we kicked out Maduro, basically control all of the oil and the exports, and nothing's gone to Cuba, I think, since like November. So literally, every consumers get like 5 gallons of gas, and that's it. Like, they are literally on vapors, literally vapors there. People have no concept about how powerful. I mean, go back in history, man. I don't know. It was like how many, like, dozens of people. As soon as somebody invents something that can bypass the oil, that person ends up like dying, being poisoned, dying of a heart attack, like random stuff, man. Nobody has any concept of how powerful these nations are that we call countries, okay, and how powerful this commodity is. It's mind bending, okay. But that's why I thought, hey, you guys need to know what's going on, because the U.S. has put some pretty heavy tariffs on India, and we're tight with India, bro. We're tight. So, and I also think behind the curtain, literally the great curtain, I think Trump and Putin also have I think they have a mutual understanding and respect of each other and what each is trying to accomplish. These are two very, 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 and so is President Xi. Let's be honest, the three most powerful people on the planet, probably. And so what they do is very, very strategic by nature. Now, here's something else that was going on in the news, which I thought was absolutely amazing. So here's the story. Retail optimism, that word always throws me. It's a 52-year high despite slight dips. So here's the story. NFIB's latest small business optimism index sits at 99.3%. While it dropped zero point 0.2 points this month, it remains significantly above the 52-week historical average. Now, this is why this is so important for us mom and pop venti shops, because when you understand what's happening, with this, okay, and I use this example all the time. So let's say that you are in a NASCAR race, which I believe, not from actually watching it, but I think they turn left. So let's say you're in this race and you're winning. Okay. But they also told you before the race started that sometime during the race, okay, they're going to throw a washing machine on the track, but you don't know when. They're going to surprise you. It's going to be like you're like a real live game of Frogger. Okay. And so you're winning the race. Okay. But you also know what's coming. That's like the everybody's like I feel really good about what I see today, but there's a possibility of that washing machine coming. Okay, so why this is important to us? Because the consumer sentiment is actually holding steady, which is great. Okay, so this is the green light for the kind of the independent retailers, the mom and pop shops to maintain that inventory level, right? Rather than kind of defending to conservation and where you're holding back, right? So people are still spending, but more than ever, people are looking for the value. So what you're seeing today that you really have never seen before is on Amazon or Walmart, where they'll do like the um, per quantity pricing or whatever it is. So you actually see exactly what the item costs, and people more than ever are actually buying not the cheapest, but the best value. And by the way, that was like one of the most important lessons that my dad taught me. My pops, right? I always say that I had three pops, but pops number one, my adopted dad, that was one of the most important lessons that dude taught me. I'm writing a book called Lessons from Pops, actually. And one of those was buy the best quality that you can afford and take great care of it. That was a huge lesson I learned from pops. And, like, back in the day, man, like, get Craftsman. That was the best tool he could afford, and Craftsman back in the '70s and '80s was not the same as Craftsman today. He would buy John Deere, you know? Literally, his truck from 1990, he bought it, brand new, and, it's sitting in my brother's garage today. It's got a little bit of paint that's, chipped off. You can drive it to California today, no problem. I think it has the original brakes on it. I'm not kidding. My dad was just unbelievable in how he took care of his stuff. So this is a big lesson, and people are shopping value more than ever because I also think that this line that we've been fed that everything's like the and throwaway, I think it's garbage. I think we're like, I see what you guys are doing, right? We always talk about like the castle in the kingdom on the hill. Like we see what you guys are doing. You are trying to slowly take away anything that we own. We also know that that was a big thing. That there was a big push from the World Economic Forum, right? With Klaus, that was a big thing. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Okay, well, I do believe in the concept that more stuff you own, the more the stuff owns you. I do believe that. But I also believe that should be our choice. Like, if I want to own a bunch of crap, and I want my part-time job being to fix, replace, update, buy new, um, update the version, whatever, and you want that to be your part-time job, do it, man. Like, that's awesome. Like, I used to be like that. Now I'm like, no. For me, it's like my favorite part-time like hobby, pastime is doing nothing. I don't want to do any of that stuff, but that's just me. I'm also a weird dude. So, like, I don't think that should be something that we should all be focusing on, but not having anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't seem right. What else is going on in the news? Ooh, Inc. magazine on X basically had an article. As Alaska Airline merges with Hawaiian Airlines, it's clear that it's applying lessons learned from its last merger with Virgin. And the reason why I thought this was so fantastic is because if you guys remember, I gave you guys Richard Branson's. This was an interview that I saw like years ago, and they were asking, "How in the hell do you build these billion-dollar companies that change the world?" Like everything there. All aboard Marine. Hey, shut up, dude. By the way, when I was this morning, I was going through my text and saw that you sent that text. So trust me, my bro, I will be reading that a little later, and so I can't even wait to hear about it. But check this out. This is Richard Branson, and he talked about how he builds billion-dollar companies that change the world. Are you ready? Okay, here it is. You guys are gonna be like, what? This is all we got to do? Yes. I'm gonna show you all you have to do, okay, to literally transform the world. Okay. And here's the kicker. It can't be about money. Okay, so here's the secret to building billion-dollar companies from the mouth of Richard Branson, arguably one of the greatest CEOs of having billion-dollar company brands. Number one, and by the way, this is his words, so there might be a little swearing going on, but it's not me. Okay, I'm just repeating. Number one, craft the vision for how you're going to change the world. Make it crystal clear. Did you hear what he said? everything that he does is never about money. Never. It's about changing the world. Craft the vision for how you're going to change the world. I know, like one of the guys on here, his name is David, and so he's in this town. He got a big manufacturing company in small town Missouri, and he's got a crystal clear vision to be the largest employer in his town. Crystal clear, crystal clear. Number one, craft the vision for how you're going to change the world, change your town, change your state. Make it crystal clear. Okay. Number two, and this is him, not me, find the best GD people in the world to go and execute on that vision. Sell them on that vision. Find people that get excited about what you're doing. What? What? I know. I know. This is like blowing your mind. This is blowing your mind. Number three, give them the resources to do their job better than anyone else in the world and get the hell out of their way. Get the hell out of the way. And then really the fourth, which should really be like the, I don't know, like the substitute, like me when I was in high school, in middle school, whenever I played a sport, I was always designated the guy that went to got the Gatorades because I was like the fourth sub in for everything. And but it's like, no, like give them what they need and then get out of the way. Give them the resources, okay, and then hold them accountable. Right? That's it. That's like would be like the sub. The substitute is just hold them accountable. Like to the podium winner. These are like gold, silver, and bronze, and then this is like the fourth place. Hold them accountable. Okay, that's it, man. Like you want to know how this dude transforms the world? Virgin Cruises. He hated cruising. So how about this? We just build a cruise ship that's the anti-cruise ship. The anti-cruise. Yep, that's it. Okay. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You have to think differently. Okay. I'm telling you, man, when you guys understand this, and David Bayer is such a phenomenal, my wife and I signed up for his workshop coming up in March, the end of March. You talk about explaining on a neurological level how and why the third dimension and the fourth dimension work the way they do, and we know fourth dimension being manifestation. Okay, so that's the third dimension is like reality, what you see here and there, you can touch and feel with your senses. Fourth dimension is thought, okay, in the creative space, okay, but you can really manifest in that space too, but you have to do it a certain way. And so but I'm telling you, man, like understanding how these guys do what they do and hold onto that thought will completely transform your life. Completely transform your life. Okay. What else is going on in the news today? Oh my word. Oh, you guys are gonna love this. Okay. So Dickie, and by the way, I freaking love this dude. I'm like one of his big fanboys. I'm always like replying back to stuff. I'm like, hey, and I'm not like trying to get the attention, but this dude is just so freaking good. And he just constantly puts out fire. Dickie Bush, Cody Sanchez, Dan Martell, Dave Bayer, these people, I swear, if I had the opportunity to even be on a stage with these people, because I also believe the 7 plates of business is like the most important thing, but these guys all freaking walk on water for their particular space. Dickie Bush is one of those people, okay? Go follow the dude. You're going to love it. So here's it is. The king of YouTube. He does this whole thing on Mr. Beast, okay? Um, and he says, here's his 3-part framework for rapid growth that you can use on any platform. You want to know how this dude does what he does? So listen, over the last 12 months, Mr. Beast has gained, listen to me, 50 million subscribers. So Dickie binge watched 100 hours of his videos to study how he's done it so quickly. And here's his 3-part framework. Are you guys ready? I'm giving you guys like tips and tricks to make you 1% smart, but this is like the inside stuff. Okay, like this is like the how the wizard does what he does behind the curtain. And by the way, if you've seen Wizard of Oz, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, are you ready? You want to know how the 3-part framework? How? Okay, dude, Dickie, you're fire, bro. Okay, here it is. 3-part framework. Number 1, capture attention. Number 2, keep the attention. Number 3, deliver absurd levels of entertainment to that attention. And if you've watched season 1 or 2 of Beast Games, bro, there's nobody better on earth than Jimmy, Mr. Beast. No, this dude is insane. Okay. So it starts all with the title and the thumbnail. Okay. You're competing for video clicks. Okay. So every single one of his videos in the following thumbnail has some combination of the following: big numbers. I did insert the absurd thing with colorful, eye-catching thumbnail. That's like every video has the same thing. I got 1 million people to Squid Games in real life. I got hunted by the FBI. press this button to win 100 grand. Like everything he does is like, oh my God. Okay. With him, being arrested or something, like it's always colorful and always catchy. Okay. Dude, Dickie's giving you the secret, man. He's giving you the secret. Okay. What else? Um, He obsesses over his retention metrics, obsesses over them. And also, he's the one guy that you'll ever hear, and he says, "Hey, I never call it YouTube's algorithm." He says, "I call it YouTube's audience." To him, it's the audience, their attention. It's what they want. And he said, just YouTube knows how to create an algorithm to extract what the audience wants. So it's not the algorithm that he's trying to please, it's the audience. He actually makes it about a person. Did that just change? It hit a little differently with me. And so I was like, man, it makes a lot of sense. But Dickie, I appreciate that. Go on X, go see, did a couple days ago. He did that post, but I thought it was powerful, man, because you can learn so much from the greats. So much. You're not born with the ability to be successful. That is a skill that's taught and learned. Okay. So if you're not, how are you going to do that? You have to go and study the greats. All these guys back here, you got to go study them. Okay. You got to see how they did what they did if you don't have that mentor that can teach you personally. Okay. But the great news is you can learn it. Everybody can. If you have the same natural gifts and abilities, and you apply the same disciplines with the same routines and same consistency, remember, routine is the key. Consistency will set you free. You guys are going to kill it. You're going to kill it, man. You're going to kill it, right? You have no limits. This is our own choose your adventure life. Remember those choose your adventure books? Like I was obsessed with those because if whatever I was reading, if it was like school related, I would forget the sentence I just read. But if it was like an adventure book, like Shakespeare or like all the greats, okay, Moby Dick and all these, it took me like Tom Sawyer, that took me on like a mental adventure. And my favorite were like the choose your adventure books. At the end of the page, you'd be like, okay, if you want to die right now, go to page 36. But if you want to live another 6 months, go to page 2. And you're like, oh my God, I want to do both. I want to die today and I want to die in 6 months. And you would go to both. And you're like, oh my God. Okay, so I've seen how both outcomes work. Oh my God. Is that why I'm a crazy dude that I'm always like planning and everything? I'm like, is that why? From the Choose Your Adventure books? Oh my God, I had like this revelation with you guys on the show today. Maybe that's why. Because you could choose. I have this ability to kind of like walk things out like systems and processes, okay? But you can walk out your Choose Adventure book and walk out 3 or 4 or 5 different things to see how it turns out. You're like, no thanks. Back up. Like the was it Dumb and Dumber, where Jim Carrey basically is the crazy football dude, and he's like, halftime. He's like, let's play that in replay, reverse. You guys know what I'm talking about. And if you're hearing this, I just did what I just said in reverse. Okay. I didn't have a stroke or act like I was throwing up. No, I was actually doing something in reverse. But I'm telling you, like, really, really awesome, man. Like, really, really cool stuff. You can learn a lot from these guys, and please go. You need to be a constant student. You always have to be a student. Okay. Always got to be a student. Okay. What else is going on in the news today? What else? What else? Oh my gosh. Okay. 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 Here we go. Here we go. This just in. AI shifts from testing to integrating for SMBs, for mom and pop venti shops. Here's the story. 2026 is being dubbed the year of AI implementation. Small businesses are moving away from just trying Chat, Gemini, Grok to using integrated AI for payroll analytics and inventory forecasting. Yes, we do it ourselves. Yes, we are one of the few accounting firms that believes saying yes first, and we figure out how to do it. And we are first in all these industries. Why? Because one of the few accounting firms owned by small business owners, not accountants, which means the same crap that stresses you out stresses us out. Okay. So for us, like I always tell everybody, you have 2 choices when you hire a firm. You can either hire a firm that obsesses over your business as much as you, or go hire another accounting firm. We're not even remotely close, okay? But this is the reason why I do this show every day. You, us, right? It's like our daily church service. We learn a little bit, we get encouraged, we get inspired, right? But us as owners, bro, we've got to be like cutting edge in the know. Like Candace Owens is always talking about, if you know, you know. Like if you know, you know. Okay. We got to be in the before everybody else is, right? So that's the reason why I do this. I want to give you guys the cutting edge news without the propaganda and all the clickbait crap. And we just get to hang out and have a good time. Okay. Hopefully you laugh a little. Hopefully you don't cry any. Okay. But no, we're here to have a good time and learn a little bit. Okay. So the reason why this is such a big deal is because our competitors are no longer just playing with AI. Okay, they are literally using it to cut administrative hours. You guys understand? Um, I have systems right now that allow us to do our entire HR hiring, which is normally a full time, 40-hour a week a position. Specifically, I do it in 3 or 4 hours a week. I've cut it literally by 90%. It's 1/10 of the amount of time, all because of systems, processes, SOPs, logistics, and AI. And by the way, perfect segue and segment into what we do. Okay. If you guys need help with anything for consulting with your business, you've got this crazy idea. You want to understand how the new OBBBA, One Big Beautiful Bill Act, those laws apply to taxes this year. If you want to learn about any of this stuff, look, there's two ways to get to us. businessforbreakfastradio.com. You can submit a question. Hey, Aaron, you talk all the time about starting a service business for under $1,000. Yes, put that in there and I will prove it to you and I will build you the business live. I've done it already this week. Somebody wanted to start a service-based company like in healthcare, and on live on air, I said, "What about a concierge senior driving service? Like for seniors." And then I said, "Oh, and by the way, I'll build this and I'll do the entire business plan on tomorrow's show." And I did. This is a couple episodes ago. You'll see it. Okay, might have been episode 22 or 23. I built the entire business plan. Okay. If you have questions, go there, submit it. I'll reply back to you or read it on air, or we can talk directly at speakwithaaron.com. That's speakwithaaron.com. That's aaron.com. That's right. So talk about any of this stuff, business consulting, taxes, payroll. I've got this idea that I've had for a couple of years. I don't know how to start. All that, we got you. We got you. Okay. What else is going on in the news today, my beautiful people? Ooh, this is huge, huge. Okay. Here's the dealio. Oh my gosh. Now, you guys know that the last week I've talked about this a couple times, but Wally World, okay, has got into the $1 trillion club, making them the 10th company to hit the 1 trillion with a T valuation. Now, I'm going to give you an acronym, okay? And it's BAM, BAM, Want. Think of like Bam Bam from Flintstones, okay? But it's not BAMM, it's just BAM, okay? But BAM, BAM, Want. And if you just remember that, you can remember the top 10 companies that are now valued at $1 trillion or more. 1 trillion or more, okay? B, I'm going to do this with you guys. I'm not looking at anything. B, Berkshire Hathaway. I didn't even realize that, but doesn't surprise me. Freaking dude's a genius. 2, A, let's go with Alphabet, okay? Google's parent, okay? M, the first M. Oh, shut up. My stupid phone just lit up. First M will be, let's do Meta, okay? Then the next B is going to be Broadcom. You're never even going to guess it, okay? Guess these with me. The next A is going to be, we already said Alphabet, Amazon, okay? Then we have the other M, Microsoft, okay? Then we have W-A-N-T. W, I just said it. What is it? Walmart. That's right. Okay. Then the next A, hold on. Apple. Dear Lord. I know they're already becoming irrelevant. Oh my God. Burn, burn, burn. Did you feel the heat? That's probably like last. And then you have the N and the T. N, NVIDIA, which trust me, their day is coming where they will not be there because the last company, T for Tesla, is literally dominating planet Earth. We already know that XAI and SpaceX have merged, mainly because SpaceX is one of the most valuable companies on Earth, and XAI burns you like $1 billion a month in cash. But the rumors are once that completes, then you have the SpaceX and Tesla merger, which will create basically the top 10 Bam Bam Want. It's going to basically replace most of them. Literally, I'm not even kidding you, most of them with one freaking company. You don't know what this dude is building. I've said this 1,000 times. You don't know what he's building. Okay. The same way, freaking moron companies, Amazon. If you even knew that they were building a logistics company, everybody on the earth knew this if you were paying attention. Okay. Like literally, they're flying. They had their own FAA approved like drone operator school up in Canada. In India for years, running their own like version of USPS. Yes, you don't think that Amazon, everything they do, look at everything they do, they start as an acorn and they build it so damn big that they can sell off the extra and turn it into like an actual cash generating machine for them. All the big companies do this, by the way. Okay. But no, dude, like they are the first one. You don't think that there's going to come a day where you can actually ship a package to a family member in California, and because you're an Amazon Prime member, you pay, I don't know, $5. Or if Jeff Bezos has the humor of Elon Musk, he'll charge like $4.20 for the package, right? You don't think that's coming? Oh, you don't know. You don't know. Okay, listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. If you guys seen Bob's Burgers, you know what I'm talking about. Listen, Linda. These guys focus on logistics, the connecting point. Okay, they're the connector. Okay, so what you see Amazon doing all these years, okay, was setting up their own private logistics transportation company. And I remember like it was yesterday because I always follow their quarterly calls. And this is like years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And Amazon, for the first time on that quarterly call, said that because they have to list the industries, and for the first time, they said we are in the logistics space. And the next day, FedEx canceled the contract. I was like, are you guys idiots? Like, do I need to give the rest of you guys like an M for moron, scarlet letter M for moron? Like, I thought everybody could see what Amazon was doing. They're all doing this. Tesla does it. I always call it the lazy river model. Okay. When you go to a big water park, they connect all the rides with a lazy river. And it's a strong moving current that takes you by default. The current takes you to all of the rides in the park. All of the trillion-dollar companies are lazy river companies. They all are, all of them. Okay, they all have a district. They all have multiple rides that do $1 billion a year in revenue. Okay, divisions, and there's always a connecting point that leads you to all of them. All of them do this. Okay, this is what Berkshire Warren Buffett always talked about: putting a moat around your company. Okay, huge, huge stuff for us. Okay. Oh my God, dude. I thought this was so freaking fantastic. And we're going to shift here into today's treat yourself lesson. But I'm telling you right now, I am so freaking excited. And did you see what All Aboard Marine? He's talking about the cardio mentorship. Totally changed his life. Bro, when he told me about it, and Dave was one of our clients, but when he told me about it, I got freaking excited, man. I was like, what? Because energy is transferable. Okay. And so you don't have to be next to somebody. My energy, the frequency of my voice it's vibrating with you. That's what I'm talking about. It's the actual frequency of the vibrations is what's transferable. It's the mouth. It's what comes out. Okay. And so, dude, he's telling me about this. I'm like, you got to be kidding, man. I got freaking excited, man. And so, as a matter of fact, that's actually a great segue because one of the things that we do is specifically peer advisory groups for our owners. That's a big thing we do. And so that's always a thing that we want you guys. They're open source. They're always free to you guys. And you don't have to be one of our clients, man. Look, for you guys, if you guys want that accountability, you guys want that help, we do it. And actually, Dave and I are actually in a peer advisory group together. We actually meet this afternoon. We meet Thursdays at lunch. And really, groups really have three purpose. Number one, to give you clarity. They're 12-week sessions. Okay, so number one, I'll give you clarity. Number two, they also hold you accountable. It's a group of 6 to 8 people with the purpose of group peer team accountability. And number three, in my opinion, the most important reason why you're in a peer advisory group, minimize mistakes, especially the ones that cost us money. Are you tracking? Are you tracking? Okay, cool. Now, you guys know there's always 2 ways to get to us. Speakwithaaron.com, speakwithaaron.com. That's aaron.com to talk to me directly. Talk about consulting, ideas for accounting, businesses, payroll, whatever it is. Trust me, we'll talk about anything, including how horrible the Cowboys are. And you can get to us the second way through businessforbreakfastradio.com. Submit a question. I'll reply back to you. I got an idea for a business, a service-based business. How can I do this thing for under $1,000? Trust me, it's my favorite thing to do. I love engineering this stuff from an acorn, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Okay. All right. Shall we move into our lesson for the day, which is Treat Yourself Thursday? Are you guys ready for this? Are you ready? We have to start with the most famous Treat Yourself skit, Parks and Rec. Ready?
Words for you. Treat yourself.
Hold on.
3 words for you. Treat yourself. Treat yourself 2011. Once a year, Donna and I spend a day treating ourselves. What do we treat ourselves to? Clothes. Treat yourself. Fragrances. Treat yourself. Massages. Treat yourself. Mimosas. Treat yourself. Fine leather goods. Treat yourself. It's the best day of the year. The best day of the year? I got a question.
Okay. But we actually treat ourselves every week, every Thursday for owners. It is Treat Yourself Thursday. That's right. You big, beautiful people. And I say big, I mean big spirits, big hearts, big energy, not necessarily in big ways. Come on now. Some maybe, but I'm talking about just your energy and your presence. Okay. What are we talking about today? Okay. Are you guys ready? Okay. Now, February, each month is a theme. February is called the reward. It's the reward month. Okay. So we're specifically talking about loving each other. Okay. And loving the owner. Okay. So here's the concept. It's called the Off Grid Anniversary of the Heart project. Okay. So quality time is the first thing that gets hijacked for us owners, right? You're at dinner, ding dong, phone call, notifications, right? All this junk. Okay. But the reason why this is so big for us, because here's what we need to do. Here's the tip. We're going to call it the midday executive date. Okay. Pull out your calendar right now. Okay. Not for a client, not for a meeting, but for an executive date. You pick a day next week. Let's say, I don't know, next Tuesday. Okay. Next Thursday, whatever. You and your spouse leave the shop. Okay. And this is even if you guys don't work together. Okay. The rule, and this is the hard part, when you get to the car, both of you take out your phones and put them in the glove box. Yes. Lock the glove box if you have to. Okay. Go somewhere that feeds your soul, not a freaking spreadsheet. You guys have to connect. You guys have to chat. I have friends of mine, RJ and his wife, Becky. Dude, they have a hot tub and they love it because that's their connecting time. It's one of the reasons why every year, Rebecca and I, this will be the first year she doesn't go with me to the bike ride. But guys, we connect during that 6-week period. It's going to be really difficult this year because we don't have that. But I really want to encourage you guys today. Treat yourself, man. You guys deserve this. You deserve to have great relationships and a profitable business. You deserve this. Okay. You are enough. You deserve this. Okay. I just thought you guys would be encouraged with that, man. I just thought you would. I thought today's episode you guys would really, really enjoy. Okay. And with that, because I've got tight deadlines, which means I got to break a little early. But guys, if you guys remember peer advisory groups, we got you. You guys need help with anything, we got you. Businessforbreakfastradio.com or speakwithaaron.com. That wraps up a amazing short episode of Business for Breakfast. I told you guys would be amazing. Okay. And remember, guys, if you think it's hard or you think it's easy, you're right. Just don't work on your or in your business. Make sure you mind your own business. All right, my beautiful people, you got the news, you got the tips and tricks. Now go own this day. I'm your host, Aaron Novinger, the Venti Business Guy, and you guys know what freaking time it is. What freaking time is it? Oh my God, you know what time it is. It's time to get to work. Pow!